Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Amanda.
And this is I'm Your Mother Now podcast,
Season 2,
episode
episode
19.
19.
Look at me, I'm just so good at numbers.
You're just taking that so slow. Wow. That was just, she's like, let me take a sip of something in between these words because
Mm.
that's what we should do here.
Okay, well, good morning to Friday and to you, my sister.
Thank you,
S-
sister.
Sad that I have to see you from so far.
I know. Didn't we have such a magical sister weekend?
We
What's
had such
better
a
than a sister
magical,
weekend?
nothing's better than a magical sister weekend. It was like perfect, actually. I
We
even
had
had a
perfect weather.
cold, and my cold behaved so that I could
Yeah.
still have fun.
Isn't that unbelievable when you're just like,
Unbelievable.
nothing is going to get in my way of
Mm-mm.
having a good time?
No.
It
I was like, I
doesn't.
don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
It was so good. When I take a sip of coffee, is it okay?
it's great, Sarah.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't like
You know what's
misophonia
happening?
disturbing.
You know what's happening for those who are listening? I'm making my sister wear the mic because we have the same mic, and if we don't wear it, then our volume is like a little bit off because she likes to hold it, and when she gets excited, she starts to eat the mic. Just a little nibble.
For
And
dramatic flair.
it's great. It's good. It's just that when we're, doing a podcast, it's nice to also have your hands free, right? So
Yeah.
like when we're thinking about something, we're like, "Oh, what's the answer to that?" I could just take my hands to my computer and we can just get the answer instead of just
For
like,
you, that works. For me, I need something in my hands at all times.
and that explains why you're holding your coffee mug. Well, happy Friday,
We
sister.
did it. We did it. All right,
We did
well,
it.
let's get to it because we have business to attend
We
to.
have lots
So,
of business, yeah.
we've been having lots of thoughts and thinks, and we just got through May and June. We're almost done with
Mhm.
June, which is basically the gauntlet of estranged parent holidays for us, really, because it's Mother's Day and then it's Father's Day.
Mhm. Yep.
And as we have kind of processed our own relationships with our family, I think, and created our own families, these holidays have really taken on a lot of different emotions and meanings, and
Yeah.
we've just been kind of riffing back and forth on that. So I want to talk about that. We started off with Mother's Day. What for you, Amanda, is the hardest part about Mother's Day from the perspective of being a daughter?
Well, the hardest part for me, and if anyone listened to last week's episode where you asked me like what I wanted for my birthday, and my gut reaction was to say that everybody who was out to celebrate me was having a good time.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh."
So if you use that as the basis of things, then Mother's Day is especially problematic for me in when there's no guidebook. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm not. Just
Oh,
continue.
okay, I thought you were like gonna lean in and say something about that. I was like, yes,
Sorry.
girl, I am profound. Get closer. Let's get into this. Um, but no, I think that my default is just wanting everyone to make sure that they are having a good time and feeling seen and all of this. And on a holiday such as Mother's Day, when we didn't celebrate Mother's Day growing up unless I'm forgetting, which it's always possible that I have forgotten things, but I
No, we
don't
didn't celebrate
feel
it. We didn't
as
celebrate it.
though I really understood what to do with Mother's Day until I became a young adult and I had this feeling of obligation when it comes to everything family. I think like for me too, being the youngest and being the last to have kids, like when you're in a family dynamic that has a lot of women and they have young kids, like that brunt of whoever's stopping at the store on the way to the event or however is going to be sitting waiting. I mean, one time I waited like over an hour for everyone to show up to an event that I had put together. We can talk about. I had completely forgotten about that until now, but that is a great story. Um, so where was I going with this? Being the
Yeah, let me
youngest,
just reel you
Mother's
back in.
Day.
What I'm asking you specifically, my sister, is what is hardest for you as a daughter for Mother's Day? What is most challenging for you?
Feeling
Figuring out what you
okay
feel?
about no. Well, here's the thing. Like, I always like to give context, right? Because if I just say one thing to someone who is listening to this episode, it's not going to make a lot of sense, Sarah.
But I think that you
No.
should. I want you to. I just
You
want
want me to
you,
just give you, okay,
yes, I
okay.
just want you to say how you feel.
Yeah, the hardest part about Mother's Day for me is figuring out what I'm supposed to do on that day because I'm a mother now. And so I'm just going to gesture vaguely, is telling me that this day is about me. I have a mother who, gesturing vaguely, is saying that this day should be all about her. And it's a very conflicting place to be. I think conflicted is probably, if I'm going to bring it all back around, is the word I would use.
Okay. So for you, Mother's Day is stressful because it's yet another occasion where the chances of people having a bad time are high, and the chances of
Yeah,
anything you do disappointing someone is going to be high, and
also
you
hi.
being disappointed is going to be high. So it's
It's
just like a gauntlet of disappointment
like,
possibilities.
what are we doing? What's happening?
You know, Mother's Day is also has really changed for me over the years because when my kids were little, and I was the first to have kids in our little family, right? And for me, like with my ex, we made Mother's Day very much about me, and I didn't live near you guys, right? So I didn't
Right.
have to be like in that close proximity. And what I ended up doing was hanging out with my friends on Mother's Day, like having a brunch, hanging out with
Yeah.
my friends, and just having a break because my kids were so small that
Hmm.
the idea of taking them out somewhere sounded like more work for me. And James was really supportive of that. So, like, at one point in my life, Mother's Day was not actually stressful for me. I'm remembering this.
And that's very like that's like your tribe that you had like in that neighborhood. It was very much like, okay, now the dads will just watch the kids and they'll do
Yep.
like a really crazy haphazard job about it, but the moms will just be drinking and they won't care.
Yeah,
And they'll
and
catch a nap.
we had a community, and
Yeah.
we created the expectation, and the expectation was followed, and everybody was happy. So it was good.
Hmm.
And so I didn't have any strong issues for Mother's Day at that point, and I don't remember our mother having an issue with me with Mother's Day at that point, or maybe I was just too hopped up on mimosas to know. And then, but then what has kind of
One
happened.
quick pause when you say if she wasn't focusing on you, you have to remember that I was with her,
No, I
celebrating
know.
her. Yeah.
I know that. No, I
Yeah.
know that. That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Like we had very different experiences because of the fact
Right.
that I was not there and I was living a completely different, you know, life.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, at that time, I had kids that were Lucas's age, right? So it was like totally, totally different. But now, um, I think, and in honor of cancer season, honestly, because this is, cancer is the crab, right? And it is mother energy. And some of the precious parts of being a cancer is your ability to create home wherever you go. So that's a wonderful ability. The other side of that coin is who creates home for you though, right? Because a lot
Hmm.
of people with cancer energy are really good at creating home for others, but not necessarily for themselves. And there is you know how a crab walks sideways?
Yeah.
You know, cancer energy is like that, and it's very hard to get a cancer energy to just straight out tell you how they feel. Do you see how difficult it was for you to just answer a question? She's like, I'm like, how does it make you feel? And she's like, let me tell you a story of the days of yore, and then you will intuit through context clues how I may have felt. And that is, she rolls her eyes, but
Listen,
that's cancer energy. But it's
sure.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just calling you out because that's a real thing, and it prevents, and I have the same thing. I'm a Cancer rising. It prevents us from being able to get what we need expediently because we don't want to just say it. And
Right.
is it because we don't know? Is it because we're scared to say it and then be extra disappointed when given explicit directions people still don't get it? Like I don't know. It could be a combination of all those things. But Cancer energy is mother energy of the zodiac, and our mother also is like really like has that same energy that we also have, which is that you want people to be able to recognize you and see you without having to tell them how to do that, right?
Sure. Yes. But there's a when you also don't show them, I think it's doubly problematic. You're not telling
Tell them
anyone, and
what?
then you're not modeling the
Right.
behavior that you wish to see, right?
Right, right, right. And that kind of brings me to what is most difficult about Mother's Day and Father's Day is, I get on the internet and I also
The
just open my
internet.
eyes and look around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I do see examples of really beautiful mother-daughter relationships.
Yeah,
And I've always wanted that. I've always wanted a mother-daughter
sure.
relationship that's beautiful and wonderful. And I think we take the parts we have and try to create that,
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that really stands out to me, and I sent you that reel, is this idea of your parent, whether it be your mom or dad,
Mm-hmm.
actually seeing you and being curious about you as a person separate from them, and actually like looking at you and saying like, look at the interests that this little creature has, and like, she loves this and I'm so proud of her for this, and
Mm-hmm.
like, this is, I'm going to celebrate her this way because that's how she would like to be celebrated, not because that's how I would like to be celebrated. And I
Right.
see examples of that, and it makes me so heartsick sometimes. And
Yeah.
and it's a sad thing, but one thing that I learned and has been told to me over the years, because I went to therapy for my mother stuff like 10 years ago and kind of started on that journey. And one of the things was that being mothered is not only something that your biological mother can do for you.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Being like, we as women, we mother so in so many different ways, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily have to have ever birthed a child out of your body to be an incredible mom. And
Sure.
I think that's really important to remember too, because there have been so many people now in my life that I have
Mm-hmm.
met that have mothered me in some way that I needed. But it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
until I opened myself to the possibility of allowing myself to be mothered that way that it actually affected me, right? Because if you don't let it be called that, you won't receive it either, right? Like, if your own mother is the only person who's allowed to fill that cup for you, your cup's going to stay empty if she's not filling it. But if you
Right.
say, this is the cup, you are all allowed to fill it,
Mm-hmm.
chances are you're going to get that filled.
Yeah. But do you think that if you don't have a strong relationship with your mother growing up, that it can be difficult to look to another adult um, with that I don't want to say expectation, but to reach out and ask for that kind of help? It takes you have to be like at a another level, I
Well, I
feel.
think, I don't know. I think this actually brings us back to how, like, differently we came into this world, right? Because as I'm saying this, I allowed myself to be mothered by every woman that I came in contact when I was younger.
Oh, yeah, see, I didn't, yeah.
And
Okay.
I received that a lot because Megan, our neighbor,
Sure.
she mothered me. I don't think she realized it, but
Well,
she bought me
yeah.
my first training bra. Okay. She went to Bloomingdale's and bought me my first training bra. It was mint green, and she had it wrapped in tissue paper and had it in a pretty box for me. And she gave it to me, and I was just like, like, she did that. I remember Beverly taught me all kinds of things. I was always around some mother that was mothering in a way that I wanted to receive, and I was receiving
Hmm.
from all of them. So I
And
was
and
I
that
was
they also
bouncing around doing
wanted,
that.
they were also giving of that because if you think
Yes.
about it, our neighbor had a daughter, right? So around the same age. Wait,
No,
no,
she
she's
was a
around the same
baby.
age. So she was younger. So she was younger, okay? So there was like a future state that we were looking at there. And then um, having two sons, right?
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
you just have a girl around who's curious. I was
Yeah, and
literally
it's like,
just
hey, what are you
following
doing? And
her.
it's like, can you imagine? Because my house is all about cars and racing and vehicles and all these things that I'm mid interested in.
Sure.
But I could see someone coming up and being like, wow, well, actually, Lucas does care about my stuff too. So I don't want to not give him enough credit about caring about my skincare.
He does
This
care.
morning, he asked me to clarify how we do the podcast and where I am when I'm talking to you. And keep in mind that he's 4, okay? And so I showed him the screens. I showed him how I set it up and everything. And he said that there were 3 Sissas because there's one in this screen, there's one in this screen, and then there's you where you are. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
What a little genius.
Um, we have been talking a lot about Mother's Day, but I realized that even going into Father's Day weekend, we didn't say anything about Father's Day. And it was not intentional. It was just like literally not even on the radar when we were going through. I mean, we had a very quick 15-minute episode, but
Yeah,
uh,
we were not like vibing on like paying attention, but also Father's Day was in a weird time this month. Like it felt like it usually is earlier in the month, not at the end of the month. I don't know. Just I was surprised it was Father's Day. But much like we did not celebrate Mother's Day growing up, we didn't celebrate Father's Day either. So none of
no.
these things were modeled, like none of these things were like expectations of anything like that.
Mm-mm.
And but again, same thing, right? Like you see examples of like fathers who like interact with their daughters and like ask their daughters how they are and are proud of
Mm-hmm.
their daughters
Oh my God,
and
all the time.
all
I
the
know.
time. And you're like, what would
What
it
would
be
it be
like?
like?
Would I maybe not have married a man who could have been my father if my own dad had daddied me? Like, I'm just saying, like, all of these things could have been
Could
different,
have been.
but
Yeah.
that's okay because
We'll
it's
never
for the plot.
know.
It's for the plot. But and I get there when they get there, but I'm, having your adults have their shit together a little bit and be a little conscious in the way that they're parenting you can
Mm-hmm.
I think makes a huge difference because I was thinking about this too. We were talking about it. It is hard being a parent
Mm-hmm.
while being conscious of how your choices affect others. It
Oh
is
my gosh.
the absolute worst. Like I can't do anything I want to do. Like I do something and I'm like, "Wow, is this going to affect them poorly?" And I'm thinking like how
I'm
many
telling
how many
you.
people in their lives have parented and like literally never thought about it. I think about like the stories I hear, right, of kids like waiting on the other side of like their parents' bedroom door because their mom's mad at them for some unperceived reason and they just want their mom to say like it's okay, I forgive you, that kind of thing, like childish behavior, right? Like so many of like our generation specifically, because that's who I'm speaking to really, um, parented our kid, our parented our parents from an early age because they were so emotionally unhinged all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have time to be a kid because we were like, ooh, these guys don't have it together. And now
No.
it's like I look at my kids and like they
They're
they
just
don't they
chilling.
they're chilling. They don't seem at all preoccupied with my emotional state. And I'm like, wow, what must that be like to like walk around this world not having hyper awareness of everybody's moods?
Yeah.
So, I think it's really it's empowering and exhausting at the same time
Mm-hmm.
to not be saddling our children with our traumas, like not just saying, "Oh, double it and pass it on," and instead saying like we're stopping it.
Right. Right. And yes, yeah, breaking the cycle is what we're doing.
Yeah, it's
And
really
and
really
I always
tiring.
say, I'm like, okay, so I know that I'm breaking like cycles. You know that I go through this in my household all the time when I'm like my own family is healing me because I'm seeing like the interactions between my husband
Yeah.
and my son. But I always say, I'm like, am I messing him up in a secret third way? Like, is he gonna have some sort of gripe with me that he's like,
But
and I
here,
know it's
yeah, and
easy.
what do I say to you every
Okay,
time?
and yes, right. And you know what? If he does come to me and say that, I wouldn't say that didn't happen.
I couldn't have done that.
I couldn't
But
done
I just did my
you,
best.
you don't, yes, you don't remember it properly. Wow, you're so sensitive.
Things were hard for me. You don't understand.
Well,
You don't
and you
understand what
know
I
what?
went through.
I don't understand like in a lived experience way, but I can recognize the fact that the generation that raised us had like a lot of issues. Like they the generation before the boomers was called the silent generation, but it's almost like the boomers are also the silent generation in the sense that they're just like ignoring all of the everything around them. any sort of signal from anyone, and they're just like, no, like we are right, like we know that we are right because we are doing the best that we can. And listen, at least we're not physically abusing our kids or like any of the most egregious things you can think of. It's like emotional neglect is not a real thing that can happen.
Well,
um
I think the thing that is, the critical thinking that's missing in all of those statements is you want you as a parent are like, okay, I'm going to work hard so my kids have a better life.
sure.
Then you as a parent do that, give your kid a better life, which means that they don't have the hard experiences that you had. But then because they don't have the hard experiences that you had, you resent them for that, and you say,
Yeah, that's
wow,
wild.
your problems are invalid because I had bigger problems and I was fine, and so your little petty little grievances don't mean anything. You're so spoiled. And it's like, my gosh, like, don't you want that? And but this is a very common human behavior in every
Hmm.
arena. It's like it's just like this feeling of, because I had to go through something hard, you have to go through something hard so you understand what I went through. And it's like, why? We all
Why?
just one upping our trauma here? The thing about
Yeah,
trauma
it's not a
too,
competition.
but it's completely subjective. One
Mm,
one person's Tuesday afternoon is another person's core trauma. So with that, through that lens, you actually can't win this game, because
yeah,
everyone is going to believe their own specific trauma is more traumatic than someone else's, or decide that someone else's is worse than theirs, but they can never know what that lived experience is like. So we
sure.
should probably just drop it all together and just be nice, right? No, not
Hmm.
nice. We should be kind.
Kind. Always be kind.
Kind. Never be nice, always be kind,
Never be nice. Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Because people who are nice are the scariest people, truly. They are, Amanda. Like, nice is the problem with everything here,
That's so
because it's
funny. I
like
know a couple of nice people that are terrifying. It's so true. It's
terrifying.
like, what's going on in there? Ah,
Yeah, you're a maniac, because people who are nice, it's all about the optics, right? It's like,
mm-hmm.
I need my family to look like we have it all together, even though behind the scenes I am ripping them to shreds so that they show up to this
Yes.
event looking perfect and pretty and everyone thinks that I'm okay. That's nice, right? Nice is, the person who goes out and does charity work for people but hates them secretly, or not so secretly, thinks that poor people are bad people, but goes out
Mm-hmm.
there and does lots of work to help the community and to uplift the community, but will not let that community associate with her family because she thinks that they're vagrants.
Yeah.
Like,
Ouch.
nice can literally kick some rocks.
Right.
Kind,
Kind.
kind is Christ-like. Like, that's like Christ consciousness, like in my perspective, right? It's like a kind person may not be nice all the time, but a kind person is moving from a place of love in their heart. And
Mm-hmm.
you will have love in your heart when you defend your rights. You will
Yes.
have kindness in your heart when you defend another person's rights. And that may
Mm-hmm.
come across as very not nice. And I think that that is the issue we across the board have. It's like, you just stop with your nice and be kind, or
Stop with your nice and
don't
be
or
kind.
don't be kind, so we can clearly see who you are.
Yeah, we got a lot of those these days as well.
They're making it pretty easy.
And
But
not hiding, not really hiding.
but
So,
circling back to, the subject of, the parents, and like how hard Mother's Day and Father's Day is. It really is hard because you're grieving while at the same time trying to build something better for your kids.
yeah.
And also
Hmm.
not saddling them with the guilt of having to celebrate you in a way that you think you need to be celebrated for this stupid day.
I know. I know that, and that's the thing too. It's like you call it the gauntlet. I call it the end of the Hallmark holiday season because it's like, what are
Yeah,
we doing? If you
it's
are
capitalism.
truly, if you're all truly living right, then Mother's Day and Father's Day is just kind of another day. And
It
I
is.
think part of that is why I was like, why is it so difficult? Like, what do I want to do on Mother's Day, or what does Ryan want to do on Father's Day? And it's like we put a lot of effort into making sure that both mom and dad are feeling seen and that they have their space and that they have their time to do the things that they want to do and that they're not feeling like they're being crushed by the weight of the household at any given time, that they need to wait for one day a year to go do something. But that being said, we do like traditions, right? We do like something. I'm not going to make
We
my
would like
tradition
something.
leaving town every Father's Day weekend, though.
I mean, it was fun though, wasn't it?
It was fun. It was fun. It was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone and everyone was great. And it was a good Father's Day weekend. Ryan can correct me later if he would like to, because he really loves spending time with Lucas and he got to do a
It's
lot.
clearly his favorite thing.
Yes, they they have a lot of shared interests. One of them has an American Express card and they're
Yeah.
just out.
Yeah. I mean, and one of them has endless ideas and the other one can drive. So, like, here we go.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but at the end of the day, they both like really just want to get back home too. Once they've had enough, they've had enough. Like they didn't finish the mini golf. They were like, that was enough. We did this many holes. We're gonna go home now.
They're just living their best life, Amanda.
Yeah, no, that's good.
But anyway, I'm
We
glad those
love to
two
see it.
holidays are over because it was a lot.
Yeah, and so now it's my birthday coming
Uh-oh.
up
Dun,
after
dun,
those. So
dun. It's
my
actually
birthday is
next
next
Friday is
Friday.
yeah, it's gonna be a special birthday podcast. We should really like dig into Amanda next week and like see what her deal is.
Yeah, yeah, maybe we should. Um, yeah, maybe we should, and we'll see what it says about how I feel about
Yeah,
things.
like
Maybe,
maybe we just pull up your chart and go ape on it.
yeah, maybe the stars will help me make some decisions versus like you asking me a question and me needing to, figure it out myself.
Yeah,
And what do I want? I don't know, Sarah. What do I want?
I think most people are afraid to look that question in the face.
It's true. You know what? You're so right. You because
And
you're
I
because you
think
get
there's a
afraid of the
reason.
implications of what it is that you want because of all the people that are around you.
Well, that's how you feel about it, right? Because you're
How do you feel
constantly
about it?
worried. Well, I mean, I think for me, sometimes I don't want to look in the face of what I want because I'm like, well, what if I change my mind?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess
Yes,
what?
you're right.
I will. I will change my mind. So that is and probably another discussion for another time too, but like the being witnessed but not held to a certain fixed point is really important for me. Like I change all the time and it's that has
Yeah.
been a criticism of me from those around me. Like I like James used to say that all the time. He's like, I don't even know who you are anymore. And I was like, oh no, I've
But
changed. And
that's
it's like,
yeah.
what do you like but I have changed. Like I'm a completely different person and I need the space and the freedom to continue to change into all of the different people I'm going to be.
Right.
If that scares you, my question is, how is it you've stayed the same for so long?
Right. I mean, when we look back, and that's one of the coolest parts about us doing this podcast is just having documented weekly, like yeah, how our look changes, like how our
Yeah.
vibe changes. Like
Yeah.
if we look back to who we were a year ago, and
Oh,
I had that short hair and I was
yes.
confused, and we were doing this podcast and it wasn't live, and I had like notes upon notes of things that I mean, I do still try to take some notes, but like notes about things. I was very nervous. I was like, we need to edit all of these episodes, like,
Yeah.
and it's cool. It's cool to see your progression. It's cool to keep checking in on the things that you said you wanted to do, right? Because that's important too. And the power of the pivot, Sarah, because it is okay if you want to change your mind. You can change your mind because you are not the same person that you were yesterday, that you were last week. Life has changed you, okay? You've lived, you've learned, you've grown, you've seen what you don't like and what you're not going to take and how better your life is when you do XYZ, and that's that, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's that, Amanda.
That's
Well,
that.
I have some homework for you as we approach the last week of your 38th year.
Yes. Yes, well, that's it as I'm going into my last year of my 30s, yeah.
Yeah, so as you do that, I think your homework really should be to consider, you know, what it is that lights you up these days. What excites Amanda? What feels like for this particular version of yourself, like what are you interested in? You know, make a
Yeah.
character profile.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like an anime character?
I don't know what that means, but
Okay.
like you mean like a Japanese animation?
Yes.
Okay, if that is what pleases you, um, Sailor Moon away. But
We got a lot of AI at our fingertips these days, Sarah.
we're not going to use it for that though.
Fine.
Okay. But no, I mean, yeah, make a character profile of yourself. I don't know if you ever ran into any of my old journals when I was a teenager, but I used to do character profiles of myself all the time. And I would like write down what my favorite songs are, my favorite colors, my favorite textures, what scent I'm wearing these days, like,
I have no
little
recollection of
phrases.
reading your diaries because
Well,
they weren't
someone
meant
was
to be
reading them.
read. They were locked, they were closed. So why would I
Well,
do that? They were in your room that I didn't go into.
okay, well, I don't know, Amanda, but why don't you try to make one a profile of yourself, your
Yeah,
favorite
okay, I'll do
songs,
that.
what do you smell like these days, like all those little things. How tall are
Okay.
you?
Ooh, okay.
What sizes
Oh,
your
that's actually kind
boots?
of cute. Like a
Yeah.
one pager of like a
Yeah.
snapshot of you at
Character
this moment
profile.
in time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I really like that. I'm gonna do that.
Do it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. See you next time, guys.
All right. All
Hi,
right, have a good
Tiffany.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to I'm Your Mother Now podcast, an Amala Moon production. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if I've done the RSS feed properly, wherever you get your pods. You can follow us on Instagram at IYMN_podcast to watch us live on Friday mornings and catch the full episodes on our YouTube channel, I'm Your Mother Now podcast. We'd love if you could share this with a friend who'd vibe with the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps more people to find us. We'll see you next week. Bye.